So exactly 1 year ago, Torah calendar, Rosh Hashanah, evening time. So that would be a few hours from now because it's only 11:55 right now. Anyways, I went to bed and I went to go lay down, and this wasn't a dream, it was a vision. I laid down and I saw darkness, and then I saw kind of the bubble came and it looked kind of like what you're seeing right here, but it actually turned into a bubble. And inside the bubble was the universe. And then a Bible ascended up like a dove. It was a beautiful brownish gold Bible with a long golden ribbon. And it ascended up like a dove, and it closed up like hands closing up. So the book closed up. God judged the universe by his word on Rosh Hashanah.
How old are you?
I am 5. I think it's Tuesday. I'm turning 6.
How old were you when you started singing?
2.
When you were 2. Do you remember your first song?
That would be Jesus, Jesus. There's just something about that name. That kings and kingdom shall all pass away, but there is something about that name. Jesus, Jesus. There's just something about that name. That kings and kingdom shall all pass away, but there is something about that name.
Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Hope all is well. Hope all is well. We are about to reach Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is already here. There's less than 24 hours to go, to be exact, until we get to Rosh Hashanah. This is an opportune time. This is a very, very intense time. We have to grab the opportunity. This is the last day of the year, my friends. And we know that we have to come into Rosh Hashanah prepared. Rosh Hashanah is judgment day, my friends. And when you go to court, you don't just prepare the day of. You got to start preparing before. And luckily, we still have, a little bit less than 24 hours to go to grab this opportunity, to dive into it with fear and love of God. And how do we do this, my friends? We have to make a acceptance within our hearts of Hashem as King. That's what it is. On Rosh Hashanah, we crown Hashem as King. How do we crown Hashem as King? Because we know Hashem we can't, Hashem is not a physical king that we put a crown on with our hands. Rather, we crown Hashem as King with our hearts, by accepting him as our master and accepting him as our everything, as the creator of all and as of our master and father. And when we accept Hashem as King within our hearts, he surely comes to reign over us. And we know that everything we do in this month and at all times, everything we do down here causes Hashem to react to our actions. God is everywhere. There's nothing else besides him. But God is hidden in this world. And through our service of God in this world, we turn this physical world into a godly place. And we know that this physical world, when God will shine his light within this physical world, it will be a greater revelation than in any of the heavenly spheres. Because since we're in a physical world and we had free choice and we experience darkness, now we will truly experience the light. May Mashiach come today, and this will all be open and revealed. Please share this message. Get everyone ready for the coming Mashiach, for Rosh Hashanah, for crowning Hashem as King in a revealed way. May Hashem bless you all. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. Explode this comment section to help spread this message forth. May Hashem bless you all.
So reading in 2 Thessalonians, it made me think of the Kaduri prophecy. Right here, he even confirms about lifting up his people, the rapture. So his prophecy has to do with on Rosh Hashanah, there will be a war in heaven, and God will decide from there. And this rabbi was a believer. He even wrote who the Messiah was, and he's going to prove that his word and law is valid and lift us up.
So hold on just a second. There are people who you can see in their regular form there, who you see and you know that it's your grandfather, your grandmother, and that's a relative. And on the other hand, you say, I see a light. He doesn't have a face, but I know who it is.
You know who it is.
And in the heavenly court, you say there were 3 judges in the court, and this court was made up of Rabbi Ovadia Yosef.
Rabbi Ovadia Yosef.
He sat in the middle.
Rabbi Eliashib.
He sat in the middle.
Yes, he sat in the middle.
He presided over the court.
Yes.
You said Rabbi Eliashib.
Yes.
The third, you don't remember?
No, I don't remember.
If we say names, might you be able to remember?
Yes, say names.
Rabbi Mordecai Eliyahu, the Ben Ish Kai.
Rabbi Kaduri.
Rabbi Kaduri, Rabbi Kaduri, Rabbi Kaduri,
Rabbi Kaduri.
Rabbi Kaduri, Rabbi Kaduri. Rabbi Kaduri is the third one? No, it is not that he is worthy to have such judges, because each generation has its judges. Each generation has its scholars. People who died 1,000 years ago met the heavenly court in Rambam. We won't meet the Rambam there. That's it. And also, each generation has its scholars and its judges. They themselves judge their generation. So in the court is something that changes. The Zohar writes, it says there are 24 types of heavenly courts. Not only one court, there are 24 types. There is a heavenly court for the people who died who are buried, and they go to be judged there. There is a court for non-Jews. There is a court for souls, for when a memorial service is held for them every year, and during the memorial service they are brought before the heavenly court. That's already a different court. There's another court where it is decreed what will happen in the world. There are 24 types, 24 kinds of courts. The judges who reside in them there, those who judge our generation, are our scholars. But the other judges, it doesn't have to be scholars who were here in this world. They can also be like angels, and the Holy One in his court, God in his court.
So Yitzhak Kaduri is the first one. This was a prophecy that was released by the Jewish media, which was written by him. His students released it, written by him in 1979. So a good 42 years ago. And it says, on the eve of the year 5780, the year of corrections, there will not be a government in Israel for an extended period, and various camps will be quarreled much without a decision on either side. So we know that at that period of time, we are now coming up to the end of 5781. We know that at that period of time in 5780, there wasn't a government in Israel, and that's been the case since the end of 2019. There hasn't been a government in Israel. So the December 2019 was when they dissolved the government, and there hasn't been an exclusive or leader, which is either Benjamin Netanyahu, he's had to have this power sharing deal. Then it says, and then on Rosh Hashanah itself, they will fight in heaven. So we don't know if there's a gap there between on the eve of the year 5780, the year of corrections, there will not be a government in Israel. We know that was the case, and it remains the case. There still hasn't been an exclusive government in Israel. So where it says, and then on Rosh Hashanah itself, they will fight in heaven, the holy side against the side of evil, and God and his entourage will decide between them. And this is all I can say. And from here I swore not to reveal more secrets and hidden things. So we don't know. Is that pointing to a future Rosh Hashanah? Are we going to get taken up and see this war in heaven? Or is this war in heaven taking place at the moment, and when we go up, then the war in heaven ends and the dragon and Satan and his fallen angels get kicked out? We don't know. That cannot be told. We will obviously find that out in the future, if these prophecies are legitimate. So that's the Kaduri prophecy. Now, remembering that Kaduri also wrote the Messiah note, which he said he left a note revealing the name of the Messiah, and he told his students to release that note posthumously 1 year to the day exactly after he died. And I've done a video about that. Please go and watch that video. It's called Kaduri's Messiah Note Proven 100% Authentic. Watch that video and you will see that they were waiting for this note to be released. They had a banner which was scrolling for an entire year, and I'll show you this in the Internet archives, that there was this banner scrolling there for an entire year. Kaduri note to reveal the name of the Messiah. Then they posted that note on the internet on the day that he exactly 1 year afterwards. And of course, if you put anything on the internet, it's archived and you can't remove it. So that note is still all over the internet. And that note said, Kaduri wrote in that note that concerning the name of the Messiah, he obviously wrote it in Hebrew, and then it was an acrostic. So the first letters of each word formed the name Yehoshua. And what he wrote was, he shall lift the people and prove that his word and law are valid. So that's what Kaduri wrote. He shall lift the people and prove that his word and law are valid. And in that acrostic is written the name Yehoshua. Now, nobody can convince me that Yitzhak Kaduri, who met the Messiah at 106 years old, knew the doctrine of the rapture of the church, which is when the Lord Jesus Christ will lift us. And in Romans 11:25, Paul says, I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery. Do not be ignorant, lest ye shall be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. So that's Romans 11:25. Paul is telling us, don't be ignorant of this. Israel is blind until the rapture of the church. And Kaduri's note said, he shall lift his people and prove that his word and law are valid. So that sounds very much to me like the rapture of the church. That is what was in Kaduri's note. And this is the same Kaduri that wrote this on the eve of the year 5780. So, of course, there was a huge uproar about this note. They tried to cover it up. They tried to say it was a falsification of the truth. They tried to say he had lost his mind and he didn't know what he was writing. All these different excuses. But if you watch that video, you will see that the note was 100% legitimate. I even do handwriting analysis comparing it to another note which was also on his website, and you can see that the signatures are exactly the same. So there's no question that Kaduri wrote that note, and the Jews rejected it completely. It was not for the Jews. It came onto the internet. It was made available to the internet. Carl Gallups wrote a book about it, and we've now seen that this is 100% legitimate. And Yitzhak Kaduri seems to be talking about the rapture of the church in his Messiah note. And he certainly doesn't know the doctrine of the rapture, because that's New Testament doctrine. Okay? So that's what Kaduri wrote. Then the next prophecy says, this is incredibly accurate. There will come on the day that two ministers win the government in the land of Israel. Both their names will be Benjamin Netanyahu and Benny Gantz, Benjamin Gantz, and neither of them will succeed in establishing their government or kingship. That is exactly what we have seen. Neither of them were able to have exclusive government or kingship. On that day, know and understand that the King Messiah already stands at the doorway. Okay, so James chapter 5 talks about, James chapter 5 says that the judge stands at the door. So this is, again, the door is known as Jesus Christ is the door, and the door to heaven, and the door is shut on the foolish virgin. So there's all these allusions to doors opening and people entering and doors being closed. Jesus says, I stand at the door and knock. So he's talking here, know and understand that the King Messiah already stands at the doorway, and on the Sabbath afterwards he will come and be revealed. So the revelation of the Lord Jesus Christ is when we go into that door and the door is shut. That's how the revelation of the Lord Jesus Christ is revealed to the world, is when, as a snare, it shall come upon them that dwell upon the face of the earth. Because you've kept the word of my patience, I will keep you from the hour of temptation that shall come upon the world. So the door opens, as it were, the church leaves, and the door is shut, and then the judgment of God begins. So that's how the revelation of Jesus Christ is going to be revealed to the world. but it's the rapture of the church that removes Israel's blindness. So they will realize at the rapture of the church. And of course, we go up and the two witnesses come down, and they will make it clear to Israel. One of them we know is Elijah. The other, I believe, is Moses because of the miracles which are performed. Some people say it's Enoch, but Enoch had nothing to do with Israel. He never performed any miracles. But anyways, that's another discussion. So Shoshani's statement then continues, understand this and remember it. So this covenant of the Persimmon, Rabbi Sasson Hai Shoshani, this is what Kaduri's students said they found in his notes. So this is a reference from the writings of Kaduri and his disciples that Kaduri taught, that the same ones who released the note onto the internet, which Carl Gallups writes, they actually believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. These are born again Messianic Jews. Of course, they will be completely outcast from their from the Jewish community should they reveal what they believe, of course. And you can get into don't hide your light under a bushel. Yes, you know, you're not Jewish, you don't live in those kind of with those kind of pressures. So but Carl Gallups seem to suggest that there are students of Kaduri's who recognize that Yeshua is the Messiah because Kaduri obviously revealed it to them. Okay, then the final one is from Tractate Sanhedrin 98a, which is in the Talmud. This is a prophecy in the Talmud which talks about when the Messiah will come. It says, the disciples of Rabbi Joseph ben Kizma asked him, when will the Messiah come? Now bear in mind, this is 1700-year-old prophecy he says, he answered, I fear lest ye demand a sign of me that my answer is correct. They assured him, we will demand no sign of you. So he answered them, when this gate falls down, is rebuilt, falls again, and is again rebuilt, and then falls a third time, before it can be rebuilt, the Son of David will come. So guys, I hope you can see that the Rabbi Kaduri's note is 100% legitimate. That is the very same handwriting on the note about the Messiah and on the blessing which was on his website by his own hand, had nothing to do with the Messiah. The very same handwriting. And I will say that to those of you Jewish people who have attempted to cover this up and who have attempted to stop this from going forward, nothing can stop this. Rabbi Kaduri met the Messiah. He proclaimed his name was Jesus. Yeshua is his name, and the evidence is there. It is time to repent and come to the saving knowledge of Yeshua HaMashiach. Your salvation is dependent on this, and I hope and I pray that this video will go out to the right people and quickly, because this is obviously very, very important. This note has been proven. It is 100% legitimate. Kaduri met the Messiah, and the Messiah is coming very, very soon. Hey guys, and welcome to this video. So I have been doing some research on Rabbi Kaduri's note, and I'm fairly confident to say that this video is going to prove categorically that his note is legitimate, and that they have tried to cover something up. And we can take it that the note was written by Rabbi Kaduri, by his very hand, and all of the evidence is on the internet. So that's one thing about the internet, is that it does not forget. So I'm going to lead you through very systematically and very slowly through the evidence that that note, which was published, was a huge shock to certainly the people who were managing the website and the people who were in the forums, and they tried to cover it up, but the evidence is all there, and I intend to show that to you right now. So in front of you, this is web.archive.org. They take snapshots of websites throughout the life cycle of a website's life, and this goes way back to the early 2000s. So there are two sites in question. The first is Kaduri.net, which was his own site, and the second is News One or NFC, which we will go through and we'll look into the archives and see the behavior of the updates and the changes which were made, which I believe certainly incriminate those who tried to cover this up. So first of all, let's go to Kaduri.net. And if Carl Gallups lands up watching this, I really loved your book, and I'm just about to prove that everything you have written is true. So first of all, let's go to Kaduri.net. We're going to go to 2006, remembering that Kaduri died on the 28th of January 2006, and that was on the 28th of Tevet, which would have been 1 year after that, would have been the 18th of January 2007. And it was Rabbi Kaduri's wishes that the note was released 1 year after his death. And as you will see in the forums, that is exactly when the note was released. And you'll also see that, much to the dismay and the shock of some of the members on the forum, they couldn't believe it on there either. So, and it was on that very day that note was released. So what we'll do is we will look at 2006, and we will look at before Rabbi Kaduri died. We're going to look at the snapshot, which is on the 18th of January 2006. This was before Rabbi Kaduri died. And in the scrolling message here, this is what I want you to pay attention to. Rabbi Yitzhak Kaduri, I met the Messiah. Rabbi Kaduri calls on the Jews of the world to immigrate back to Israel. And you can see Rabbi Kaduri is hospitalized in serious condition in hospital. So this was just before he died on January. This was 10 days before he died on January the 18th. Okay, then I'm going to go to the next snapshot, which is on February the 2nd. So this would have been 5 days after he died on the 28th, 4 or 5 days. And we're going to look at the snapshot just after he has died. And here you can read, it says here, new and exclusive, Rabbi Kaduri, it's time for our salvation. The Kabbalists will study the words and reveal the secret of Christ. This is the scrolling message. This is very important to pay attention to here, what I'm pointing to here, because I'm going to show you that they changed it straight after the message was released, and they left it up for an entire year. They left the scrolling message up. They were waiting for an entire year to reveal this message. And it says here, Rabbi Kaduri, Christ has arrived. And Rabbi Yitzhak Kaduri, I met the Messiah. So this was on his website, Kaduri.net. It was posted immediately after he died, and it was there for an entire year, as I'll show you. And here you can see, here's the eulogy on his website. Bless your truth, the crown of the head of the Jewish people, the righteous rabbi, the great custom in the world, the spiritual leader, Rabbi Yitzhak Kaduri, has passed away. Hundreds of thousands followed him on Sunday and obviously went to his funeral. Okay, so that is immediately after he died. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the end of 2006. So we've just looked at at immediately after he died on the 2nd of February 2006, 4 days after he died, and that scrolling message was there. Now we're going to go to the last day of 2006 in December, and you will see that the scrolling message is still there. Okay, Rabbi Kaduri, in the last minutes of his life, it's time for our salvation. The Kabbalists will study the words and reveal the secret of Christ. They were waiting for his message. Here you can see on the 31st of December, it's the very same message that was there for an entire year. They were waiting to open this message. Okay, so as you can see, the message was there for an entire year. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go to 2007 on the 20th of January, which would have been 2 days after 1 year, the 1 year that he died. So this would have been 2 days after the 28th of Tevet. And we're going to load this up. And as you will see, that scrolling message is still there. Okay, Rabbi Kaduri, in the last minutes of his life, it's time for our salvation. The Kabbalists will study the words and reveal the secret of Christ. They were waiting for this message. So now what we're going to go and do is we're going to look in the forum, and this will be the forum that they were discussing, the people that were in the forums and discussing this note which was coming. And fortunately, Google translates everything for us. And here you can see Revelation Day of Rabbi Kaduri, discover the name of the Messiah. Okay, my beloved brother, I heard that the Honorable Rabbi left an envelope with the name of the King of Christ. And will it be revealed when he commanded? Will it be published here? That was on the 7th. So that was 10 days before it was supposed to be revealed. And then if you go up and look, you can see that here people on the very day, so the 18th of January, there's the 18th of January. I hope you can see that. Let me zoom in. There's the 18th of January right there. That's the day that it was supposed to be released. And you can see that people are annoyed about this. Just BS. Why didn't the rabbi say this before he died? This was on the very day that the note was released, and this was their reaction. Okay. So obviously they didn't like it. They didn't like what was in the note, and there was no suggestion that it was a fraud. And I'll prove it to you that it certainly was not a fraud, and it was 100% legitimate. And here you can see a note with the name of Messiah. The note has been posted to NFC. That is the News One website, and you will see also here we can also see on the 16th, okay, attached here too are the links that refer to the note, okay, and there's actually a link to yeshiva.org.il, but of course this link here is broken, and I did try and look in the archives, but it's not, unfortunately it hasn't been archived. So they actually posted this note to the yeshiva, and here you can see this is posted to NFC as well, so you can see that this is the site that it was posted to, which I will show you now. Okay, so this is kaduri.net. The website looks very different. They've changed the website completely, and all these comments here have obviously been removed, but because of the Internet Archive, we can go and search these things. Okay, so we're going to go to the nfc.co.il Israeli website. Okay, so we'll go to the day after he died, which is when they reported it on the site. So there was no time for any conspiracy here. There was no time for any contriving some sort of a fake note. There's no suggestion of that. They just released the note. And here you can see at the bottom here, Rabbi Kaduri's note with the name of Messiah revealed. So this is on the 18th of January 2007, on the very day, Rabbi Kaduri's note with the name of Messiah revealed. So when we go in here, that's going to load up the archive. Rabbi Kaduri's note bearing the name of Christ was revealed. On the eve of the anniversary of Rabbi Kaduri's death, a note was left that the old man with the name of Messiah. And then it tells you exactly on the eve of the first anniversary of the passing of Kabbalist Rabbi Yitzhak Kaduri, a note was revealed in which the name of the Messiah was hinted. The note reads, in the matter of the Rabbi, and then the acronyms of the Messiah, the people will raise up and prove that his word and teaching stand. I came on the sign in the month of mercy, 5768. So the courtier said that the Rabbi did not leave a cipher for deciphering things, but the acronym for the text is Joshua or Yehoshua. So this is on the 18th, on the very day that he died. This was published and released. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go back again, and we're going to look a few days later when they actually posted the image, but it's been taken down. So we will look at on the 24th of January. So this was 6 days after they actually published news about the note. 6 days after they actually published the note itself on the website. So if we go here, we have to do a little bit of jiggery pokery in order to see the image which they posted. But it's fairly straightforward. I'll show you. Just let it translate. Rabbi Kaduri's note, Messiah, Joshua, Yehoshua. So that was on the 23rd. That was on the 23rd, just 4 or 5 days after they released the note. Okay, so we'll go into the religion and tradition section here. Okay, and as you can see over here, Rabbi Kaduri, the note of Messiah. Okay, let it just keep loading. Okay, so this was actually a picture of the note, but they don't archive the actual images. So what I need to do is I need to go open image in new tab. Okay, and you will see here is the name of the image. Here is the name of the image in the address bar. So what I will do is, in order to get to this image, I'll just remove the archive section and we'll go direct to the site. And when we go direct to the site, as you can see, that is the image that was published. It's still on their in their archive section, and this is the image that was published of that note. Now, when you say all of this and you show them the note, they say that the note is a fraud. Well, God says that those who seek shall find. Let's go back to Kaduri's website. Okay, and we will go to wait there. Okay, we're going to go back to Kaduri's website, kaduri.net. Okay, back to 2007. And we're going to go to 2 days after he died. Sorry, 1 year later after that, so January the 20th. And fortunately, we can see that they have archived this section. So this here is one of Rabbi Kaduri's notes that he left. Okay, so this is actually his handwriting. So now we're going to do a comparison of the handwriting. Praise the Lord. It's God who guides us in all these things. Okay, so as you can see here, we're going to do a comparison of this handwriting. This here is Rabbi Kaduri's very own handwriting that was on the website. So here's the note. Okay, here's the note on the right hand side, and here's the note on the left hand side, and all we need to do is look at this. Okay, so we're going to take that, that says Yitzhak Kaduri. Let's zoom into that. Okay, this is on his own website, and this is the note that was left. Yitzhak Kaduri. Yitzhak Kaduri. That looks like the same handwriting to me, but let's have a closer look. Let's blow that up. That says Yitzhak Kaduri. That is from his own handwriting on the note which was on his website, which was a blessing. And we're going to look at the actual notes of the Messiah. Okay, so one was taken from the website. This was taken from the Messiah note, and this was taken from the website. So let's have a look and see. And we're going to raise the opacity so we can make that transparent, a little bit transparent. Okay, we can see that one below. Okay, put it at a bit of an angle. Zoom in a little bit so we can be a bit more accurate. Okay, that looks like it's a slightly bigger there. And at an angle. That is the same handwriting, ladies and gentlemen. That is written by the same hand. Two different notes. Yitzhak Kaduri is the name. Okay, and that is the very same handwriting. You cannot deny that that is Yitzhak Kaduri's very own name with his own hand, two different letters confirming and validating that that is the truth. Okay, not only that, but what we will do now is we're going to go back to the archive. We're going to go to kaduri.net, and then we're going to do a comparison of the changes which they did to the website. So we're going to look at the website on the 25th, which is just after the note was released in 2007, and we've looked at this, but let's look at it anyway. I just want to remind you that here is the scrolling message, okay, that was there for an entire year. It was up for an entire year. They were waiting for this message, okay, and that was on the that was the snapshot taken on the 25th of January. It was there just after Rabbi Kaduri 1 year, and the note was released 1 year after. Okay, and then we're going to do a comparison. We're going to look at the changes between the time after which the note was just released and 2 weeks later, and you will see the significant changes that went on. Okay, so we're going to look at January the 25th, 2007, and we're going to compare that with February the 8th. So call it 2 weeks, okay? January the 25th to February the 8th, and we're going to do a comparison of the two sites, a snapshot of the two sites, and you will see what has been changed. Okay, so on the left-hand side, as you can see, that was the old scrolling bar, which said that they were going to, they would study the notes, the Kabbalists would study the notes, and the secret name of the Messiah would be revealed. And on the right-hand side, less than 2 weeks after the note had been revealed, they changed the website. Okay, so that is blatantly obvious. You can see that it was deliberate, and they had been expecting this note for a year. That scrolling bar was up there for a year. They were waiting for it. They were expecting it in the forums. They were waiting for it in the forums, and they were upset when it was released on the very day. No conspiracy here. No fraud. No agenda. On that very day, and they changed it within 2 weeks. So guys, I hope you can see that the Rabbi Kaduri's note is 100% legitimate. That is the very same handwriting on the note about the Messiah and on the blessing which was on his website by his own hand. It had nothing to do with the Messiah. The very same handwriting. And I will say that to those of you Jewish people who have attempted to cover this up and who have attempted to stop this from going forward, nothing can stop this. Rabbi Kaduri met the Messiah. He proclaimed his name was Jesus. Yeshua is his name, and the evidence is there. It is time to repent and come to the saving knowledge of Yeshua HaMashiach. Your salvation is dependent on this, and I hope and I pray that this video will go out to the right people and quickly, because this is obviously very, very important. This note has been proven. It is 100% legitimate. Kaduri met the Messiah, and the Messiah is coming very, very soon.